What's up, guys? Hopefully everything's good. Hopefully everything's better for you than it is for me. Wait, what am I talking about? Well, I got a sad story today. We'll see if you can guess it. Yep. My dream truck. The truck that I'd never, ever thought that I would sell is going to Ohio today with its new owner. So this will be the last video of the 62 Pete. I'm gonna take a little walk around just so I kind of have some of my own records here. Sure a cool old truck, man. Yeah, it's gonna hurt seeing her go. So the reason I'm selling this is actually going to be a surprise to you guys. I'm selling this to buy something else, and we'll find out what that something else is in a few weeks here. But that something else that I'm buying is a necessity for my business to grow. And this is a toy. That's the only thing it's good for. It's got an aluminum frame. I really wanted to put this 3406 cat motor on it that I got here. I wanted to put that B model cat in the old girl. There's just too much work to do to put that motor in there. I mean, just I'd have to cut into the firewall or extend the hood. The frame is aluminum, so extending the frame with what tools I have to work with would be virtually impossible. And it would just turn out to be a hack job. And the box that I have requires this frame to be about 2 feet longer than it is right now. There's 12 foot of frame here. I'd need 14 feet of frame. And it's just too much work to try to make into a work truck. You know, it's an original truck the way it is now, other than, you know, the color and just some other things, but you know, everything's pretty much all original on it. So it would just be, see, these old Peterbilts with these old latches like this, the window's down, and what happens is the wind blows it open when you're away for a long time, and this is the kind of stuff that happens. And the glass breaks. It just turns into a real nightmare. But anyway, yeah, that's the story on that. But yeah, she's a long ways from getting done. I mean, I love it. You know, I've done so much work to this. I'm gonna try to add some photos that I have from way back when I first got it. And by the way, yes, I am gonna do a lot of talking in this video just because you know, I want to reminisce on the memories here. But I got a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in this old girl. I've done everything to it. Wiring, plumbing, tires, brakes, bearings, exhaust. I mean, just everything. Painted it, glass. So she's in good shape. The ironic part, or the funny part about this is when I was younger, when I was a kid, I seen the movie Duel that was made in 1971, and ever since then I've always wanted a needle nose Peterbilt like the one in that movie. And the funny part about it is the gentleman that's purchasing this truck here, he's about eight or 9 years younger than me or whatever, but the reason he wants one of these is because he's seen that movie and he wants one. And seems like a farm boy. Seems like it's going to a really good home. It seems like he's really going to appreciate it. And I wouldn't sell it to somebody that wouldn't appreciate it, because this is something right here that I thought that I was going to have until the day I died, and you know, I'd still have the darn thing. So but like I said, it's just too hard to do anything with what expenses and the budget and money, and you know, parts and materials and everything that I have to work with. But what my plan is going to be for the future, we'll do that, is I'm immediately going to start looking for a cab, a hood, and basically the body to one of these. These trucks, in my opinion, they're old, they're outdated. The frames, the rear ends, the suspension, and all that stuff is just the motors. They're just wore out, they're old. It's not that they're junk, they're just wore out, old. They're just, you know, they're not worth screwing with. So what I'm going to do is immediately going to start looking for another one of these cabs, basically the whole body on this truck, and try to find it cheap, because I'm a body man. I can fix anything up. I fixed this truck up, as you'll see in the pictures from before and after. And I am just going to completely build a truck, because that is what this truck needs. If somebody wants a really nice truck, what they need to do is they need to take this body and they need to put it on like a 379 frame or a 359 frame, or something that's a little more modern with a different motor, something that you can actually find parts for somewhat reasonable, and just something that is a little bit more user friendly to drive around. Something with a little higher gears. It's got 583 gears on it. It's got an overdrive, but she'll only do about 55, 60. It tools along for what it is, but you know, nobody wants a truck with a rubber block suspension. I mean, that is just, it's just outdated, and those rubber block suspensions are what ruin these trucks. They're what, you know, the reason this door won't shut is because this is, you know, this is cracked right here. And you know, look at the welds that somebody did in the past to repair all the cracks because of just all the hard bouncing and everything. So it just, the best thing to do to build one of these old Peterbilts, or you know, Kenworths, whatever kind of truck it is to take the cab, the hood, the nose, the fenders, the body, so to speak, and put it on a modern frame. And that is exactly what I'm going to do in the future. How far in the future, I'm not sure. It depends on what I find, but I'm not going to look to buy a whole complete truck like this. I will if the price is right, but I'm more or less just going to look for the body. But anyway, after saying that 3,000 times, yeah, that's pretty much the drift. So the piece of equipment that I'm buying with the money I'm selling this for is definitely going to put me to the next level on my business. And guys, if you want to become successful in any kind of business or anything like that, you have to make sacrifices. And I've made a lot of sacrifices in my life. I've given up a lot of things that were very important to me and that were close to my heart. And I mean, that's just the way it goes. I mean, you know, man, this is gonna be real hard seeing this thing go down the road. And you know, I'm telling it like it is. You know, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It sucks. You know, I've been down for the last 2 days, but I just have it in my mind that the reason I'm selling this is for my future and my business's future. And if my business succeeds, I'll be able to buy this back or buy it a better one, or you know, build back better. So I mean, that's just the way it goes. And I mean, that's all I can say. But I definitely do love the old girl. A lot of work into this thing. It really sucks about these doors and the windows, but on my skill level as being a body man, this is a super easy fix. It'd be like a day's worth of work right there just to fix them doors. So, you know, and the glasses. That's one thing I like about these old Peterbilts and any of these older trucks like this, is all the glass is straight, you know, on most of them. So you could just go down to your local glass place and have this glass cut very, very cheap. For example, the 69 International, this is not a user-friendly windshield. I have no idea what I would do if this windshield ever broke, because it's curved and, in my opinion, virtually irreplaceable. So I think if this windshield ever broke and I couldn't find another one, I would probably modify it and make it into a split windshield like the Peterbilt is. For as stupid as that might look, it might actually look kind of cool, because I can't imagine that you just find that windshield anywheres. Yeah, I take the battery out of this in the wintertime and keep it in the house just because it doesn't get started all the time. And these batteries are too expensive just to leave outside and let them go bad. So, yeah, all I got is one battery in this. It's fine in the summertime, but in the wintertime, you better make sure it starts as soon as possible, because one battery doesn't have too much to offer with a cold engine, cold 10-liter engine. Everybody that knows me knows that I get way, way, way attached to my vehicles, and despite of what anybody says or thinks, these things have a soul and a mind of their own. And you become a part of them, and they become a part of you after doing a bunch of work and just, you know, just loving them. So, just the way it is. I did put a block heater on this thing a few years ago, one of the Tractor Supply ones. I gotta say, it works absolutely awesome. I had the same one on my Deuce and a Half years ago when I used to have it, and you open up that hood, it feels like a heater in there. It works so good, and it's only been plugged in for like 7 hours now. All right, we'll unplug the heater. I'm gonna give her a little shot of the good stuff, give her a happy ether. Yeah, I know, keyboard cowboys out there, we're gonna ruin this motor. Oh boy, we're ruining this motor right now. You know what? She's an old truck, and sometimes you just gotta give her a little sniff. Just the way it is. Yep, even just that little bit of cranking when it plugged in. You don't get much cranking out of something in the cold weather with one battery when it's meant to have 2 or 3. So a little shot of ether ain't gonna hurt nothing. You know, I gotta laugh. I watch some people, you know, I've been around trucks and diesel equipment my whole life, and I've sat there and I've watched people crank their starter until it was smoking hot, ruin batteries, burn up cables, drain batteries, and have to sit there and charge them and all that because they refuse to put one little shot of ether in it that would have just started it and avoided all that nonsense. But they're like, no, ether's gonna ruin the motor, so instead we're just gonna ruin 6 starters that cost $400 a piece and you know, just destroy everything. The only good thing they're getting out of that is the engine is definitely not going to have a dry start by the time it starts. By the time those engines starts, they got plenty of oil circulating. But it's just the way it is. You know, the truck is 62 years old. Yeah, it's a 1962 and it's 62 years old. And that is the original motor. So my golly, if she takes one little snort of ether to get going when it's 25 degrees out, then we'll have a little mercy on her. Alright, the next thing I gotta do is get the plates off, which is really gonna be sad. Pull the registration sticker off. And the tractor trailer is on its way here, should be here in a couple hours. The old girl's going to Ohio, so she's kind of going out the way where she came from. Originally a California truck. This truck I don't know what it was when it was new, but before I got it, it was used for a power company in the state of California, and it had one of those man lift things on the back, cherry pickers, whatever you want to call them, and the front of it had the big bumper on it with the big the capital A letter thing, triangle thing on the front to set the boom over the cab like a log truck would have. And I believe that's what it was, but when I got it, I was investigating it a little bit, and I kind of think it was a tractor at one point because of the frame. Typically tractors are the only trucks that have the frames that narrow down in the end like this. So what I think is it was originally a tractor, and then it was made into a boom truck, and then that's when I got it. The boom and stuff wasn't on it when I got it. It was just a bare frame, and that was it. So that's what I think it was, but who knows? It could have been anything. There's an awful lot of holes in that frame, so it definitely had, you know, when you look at all these holes in this frame, I didn't put any of these holes in the frame. Everything I had mounted on this truck since I had it, I designed it so it would find an existing hole in the frame, because I don't like to throw any more holes than it needs, you know. But it actually looks like, actually I had a fifth wheel on this at one time, and it actually lined right up, so I think it did have a fifth wheel. But there's a lot of holes in this frame. And most of them look like they're man-made. You know, I say man-made by a owner, not factory. And definitely think somebody's had quite a few attachments on this thing since they had it. Yeah, she runs good once she runs though. A little bit of blue smoke, which, you know what? Again, it's 25 degrees out and it's a 62-year-old truck. Give her a break. Tell you what, the wind out here right now is brutal. Like, my fingers are just not even existent anymore. Man. Wow. Oh, that got wedged in there. There we go. Well, here's the last piece of identity that shows that I own her coming off. Ruined anyway. All right, she's officially 1600 series cat. Oh, there she goes.